Welcome, episode 22 of the 2-Minute Warning. Today on the table, Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry, and their future with the Cleveland Browns. What do they need to do for their careers? What we got?
I don't know Odell Beckham's trade value anymore. I feel like he's lived off that Giants catch for his entire career now.
Yeah.
The Browns did end up paying a first round for him, but is anyone going to pay a first round for him again today? I don't know about that. Jarvis Landry, everyone loves the guy. He's basically as productive as Odell, just not as many highlights.
Just about that
and he's a
three-finger
lot less
catch.
quiet. There's not much drama with Jarvis. I like him. Do they demand a trade? I think they need to either demand the Browns to get rid of Baker, or yes, they need to go somewhere else.
I agree. I think that if they want to go anywhere in the playoffs, if they ever have a hope of a Super Bowl, they need. I don't see them getting that with the Browns. They're not getting. If they go to a different team, they're going to get more touches as well. Be able to show off. The Browns have a really high run percentage right now. I just think it's not the best suit for them.
Yeah, Jameson made a point about we don't really know how good OBJ is, whether it was just that one catch he made that put him on the map, or is he actually a good receiver. And in my opinion, if I'm OBJ, just the fact that people, because I'm sure that's a pretty widely shared opinion on him. If I'm OBJ, that wouldn't sit right with me that people don't even know if I'm good. So if I'm OBJ,
And the thing is, he can't even prove himself right now.
exactly, that's my point. If I'm OBJ and I'm in a spot where I can't prove how good I am, I'm going to want out of there.
Yeah.
And there's other teams that he would fit better on that are like the Browns, not even like the Browns. Other teams with young quarterbacks that OBJ is still young enough or early enough in his career where he could sit with a younger quarterback and build. I think he'd be a good fit for Arizona with Kyler Murray added onto that offense with DeAndre Hopkins. Same thing, he could be in a similar situation as he is now with a better quarterback if he's in Cincinnati. Not that he'd want to really go there because they're a pretty weak team. But I think Joe Burrow, I'd take him over Baker Mayfield. So anyway, there's better places, and the same goes for Jarvis Landry.
Yep.
I think they should both get out of Cleveland.
There's really, outside of like your big name teams such as the Chiefs, the Browns have arguably the best offensive weapons outside of the quarterback position with Odell, Jarvis Landry, both Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. They got the tight end David Njoku. They really should be making the playoffs. They should have made the playoffs last year. If they don't this year, it's something needs to change big. You can only fire so many coaches before you change the quarterback. I get you've wasted your number one overall on them, but eventually you got to cut your losses. The Browns are at 4-2. They still have playoffs hopes, but they still have to play the Steelers again, the Ravens again. You can almost say those are guaranteed 2 losses. That would put them at 4 losses. They got to play the Titans. Not crazy to say they'll lose that one. That'll put them at 5 losses. Then who says Joe Burrow can't pick off a win against them?
Yeah.
Giving them 6 losses, and that's 10-6. Looking at a best case scenario. I'm sure they'll take a few more losses. Will they even make the playoffs this year with all that star power?
That's a tough one. Do you know who's their backup quarterback right now? Because didn't he come in the game
Case
after
Keenum.
Baker
Case Keenum.
absolutely shit the bed last weekend? Yeah. Baker hasn't looked awful the first few weeks, but last weekend he did terrible.
Yeah.
He even
Against
got
his
replaced.
first big game, arguably. I mean, against the Cowboys, they were both offensive games, but it wasn't even him that kind of won the Cowboys game. It was everyone on his team just made great plays.
They put up almost 50 points, but he put up less than 200 pass yards.
Yep.
So
And the Cowboys' defense is nothing to even worry about.
I think he might be the worst in the league right now.
The situation in Cleveland is, I think Baker's playing good enough football and he's putting up good enough numbers for the Browns to stick with him for another year or so to really try to build that program around him, which I think is a problem for OBJ and Jarvis because they're going to be stuck with that same offense. So I think if Baker was totally tanking this season, I think it might be worth them, OBJ and Jarvis, to stick around because they're probably going to get a new quarterback involved in that system. But because of the way Baker's actually finding a way to win games, which is not like the Browns, I think they'll stick with Baker, which means if Jarvis and OBJ stick around, they're going to be in that same offense that they don't get the ball the way they need to. So I think, again, they need to leave.
Basically, my final assumption is if they can make it to the playoffs, that changes things for Odell, it changes things for Jarvis. They get more spotlight, they get more reps, they get more catches. But if they don't, there's no more excuses you can make for the Browns.
They got all the weapons. They just need to figure it out. If they don't, then they need to get out of there. They need to get a new quarterback. There's no in between. I agree.
Yeah, neither of them have ever played in a playoff game, have they? I know OBJ hasn't. Has Jarvis?
OBJ has.
Oh, he has?
Yeah, I want to say Jarvis might have too.
Sure. With who?
Miami and Odell made it with the Giants and played the Packers 1 year.
Gotcha.
With Damon, yeah.
So, yeah, final verdict, they need to leave Cleveland.
Yep.
There it
2
is.
minutes.
2-minute warning.